Hey you guys. So in this video I'm going to be giving you some tips for falling asleep in the first place, but also when you've woken up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep. I have some tips to share on that too. I will be tapping and scratching on just a few items, but the items that you guys will probably really like, such as this. And I have a cell phone screen I'm going to tap on, and I'll do the back too. And then I have a brush. So as I'm sharing, I will be just tapping and scratching on these items. So I came up with this list because I often will wake up in the middle of the night, and over the years I've come up with some tips and tricks to help myself fall back asleep easier. So first, number one, is that when you wake up, try your best not to get restless, not to start switching positions over and over. I have found that actually wakes me up so much more when I'm moving and trying to find a good position and moving and moving and moving. I get really restless, and sometimes it even frustrates me, and then I'm just wide awake. So try to, if you find yourself awake, lay in one position, find a comfortable position. It's okay to like choose a position and move into that position, but once you're there, try not to move around too much. Sometimes I'll even get in a state of kind of like my body just wants to move every minute. Like, I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but you're one position and you just like for some reason can't stay in that position. You just switch and switch, and you just cannot get comfortable. Or like psychologically even your brain is like not letting you stay in that position, like you have to move or something like that. Anyway, that's what I experienced. I don't know about you guys, but try to kind of push through that and just stay in one position, and that often will calm my body down, and I'll end up falling asleep much faster if I do that. P.S. I am going to do a no talking version where I'm tapping and scratching on these items for you, if you prefer the sounds without talking. But if you want the tips, you'll have to watch this one. Okay, number two, it kind of actually goes back to the one I mentioned. I think that room temperature can really make a difference in whether or not you get restless and wake up. Everyone's a little bit different, but I personally, these are my personal tips, like these are things I've personally experienced as helpful. So they might not be for you, but you might be like me, and the cooler a room is, the better that I sleep. Even if that means I have to put blankets on me or something when I make the room cooler. I will just sleep better if it's like cold. So you can work with your thermostat or put some fans on you. If it's like the summer and it's really hot, you could do the AC or something, whatever you have access to. For those of you who live in places where AC is not something you can regularly use, it's really expensive for us, so we often just do a fan or something like that. Or I actually lived in a country where I did not have access to it for a couple of years, to an AC, and it was really hot there. And so a tip for you guys, this is kind of included in number two tip, is a spray bottle and a fan. So if you have a spray bottle filled with water and then you spray yourself and you're under a fan, you've got to have a fan of some sort, so you do have to have electricity for this one. But you can just have that fan on you and spray some water, and it just cools your body down. It cools you so much. It kind of creates an AC effect. It's the water plus that air hitting your body, and it just really cools you down. You could also just do like a washcloth on your head or something like that through the night. I've literally slept with a frozen water bottle before. So those are some tips if you're in a place with no electricity and you can't do AC. I'm sorry, not no electricity, no AC access. You would have to have electricity for that fan. also the cooler you are, sometimes the better you sleep. So if you find yourself waking up restless from heat, go ahead and get up and open a window or put on a fan, or like all the suggestions I just gave. I've got my little list right here, so that if I'm referring down here, that's why. The third one is this. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got thoughts running through your head and lists that you want to make, and you start thinking about the next day's plans or the week's plans or even a month from now, I would suggest, even though your brain kind of wants to think of those things, you find it going to those things, try your absolute best to not dwell on them, to just shut it off, to say, I'm not going to make a list tonight, I am not going to get over my plans, I'm not going to try and make this big decision during the night while I'm sleeping. In fact, sometimes you're tired, and sometimes it can be frustrating if you can't fall back asleep or you can't fall asleep at all. So the last thing you want to be doing is making really big life decisions during that time. I would just suggest not doing any lists as you sleep in the middle of the night. Don't let yourself go there. That leads me to number 4. If you do have a lot going on and you think you might wake up with lots of things running through your head, make a list before you go to sleep. So just get everything out of your brain that is like rolling around in there, and just write it all down. So littlest things that you have to do the next day. If you realize I have a really busy week, go ahead and just write all those things down. So get that list, and that way you know that during the night, if you wake up, you've already got that list written, you can deal with it the next day. It's better to get good sleep and be able to deal with that big list or that big week on a good night's sleep than to try and process it during the night. Okay, so number 4. This sounds funny because we always hear about counting sheep, but I have actually found that counting really does help me sometimes. So if I wake up, I'm gonna grab this little thing to tap on for you for a bit. If I wake up, I will get myself into a singular position and I will just count in my head, obviously, for as long as I need to, until I'm more sedated, more drowsy, ready to fall asleep again. I'll just count until I, lose track and I'm asleep. It doesn't always work, but I would say maybe 3/4 of the time it does, actually. So if I put myself in that one position, don't move, cool down the room, and just let myself count instead of thinking through things, that really has helped. So I don't count sheep necessarily, but I just count and count. Try my best to, if I find my mind tangenting to drift to something I have the next day, I just bring it back and start counting again from 1 if I can't remember where I was at. So believe it or not, I do count, just not sheep. Okay, I'm gonna switch items to tap on for you. Okay, so number 6 is pretty straightforward. Watch an ASMR video. Now this is to fall asleep in the first place, or sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night, I just pop an ASMR video. If it's that kind of thing where I'm like, oh, I feel myself, I'm just like wide awake suddenly, I'll put an ASMR video on right away and just, again, find one position, just stare at it, try and pay attention to the video, keep your eyes open while you watch it, so that you naturally start closing your eyes on your own. Sometimes if I put it on and I keep my eyes closed, my mind still drifts other places. So find a new video, one maybe that you haven't seen before, that you haven't like memorized in a way, something that keep you focused on the video, and you, at least in my experience, I fall asleep faster that way. So find a new ASMR video for you and actually watch it until your eyes start closing on their own. Okay. Number 7. This is one that I find that helps. I actually play with my own hair or like scratch my arm a little. I do it naturally. I just noticed this in the last couple of years. But you know, I think we have little habits. Like my husband, when he falls asleep, he will start playing with his hair, and that's like, he just does it naturally. I assume that when he was a baby, that's like what he did, and he just got used to that. That's like a natural thing that puts him to sleep. And so if you have something like that where you kind of like mess with your hair, or you scratch an arm, like sometimes I'll find myself like going like this in my bed. I'll like scratch my arm a little like that. Literally, I'll start doing this, and I catch myself doing it. I'm like, oh wow, that must really be comforting to me if I'm doing that naturally. So you can consciously decide to do something like that, and it can sometimes distract you and relax you and help you kind of fall asleep a little bit. It's like self-soothing in a way. Okay. I'm just looking through my list of which ones I already said. Okay, number 8. And again, this is for me personally. I am a Christian. I love Jesus. There's that. So before I go to bed, it does help to have processed my concerns in life before God. So I find that even an ASMR video won't be as relaxing to me as I would like it to be if I haven't actually processed what's going on inside of me. So maybe I've said something that hurt my husband's feelings, or vice versa. My husband said something that hurt my feelings, or I have a relationship that's kind of, something got weird and it's bothering me, or something at work went really awry, or something like that, or like we're having a difficulty in some area of life. For me, it's really helpful for me to give those things over to God before I go to sleep, and not feel like I have to control them and hold on to them by myself. If things are not resolved, if there's a way to resolve them before I go to sleep, I try to do that. So if that means calling my family member and being like, hey, sorry if I hurt your feelings, because it's been like, if it's weighing on me, like I think I hurt that person's feelings, call them, say sorry before you go to sleep. Make things right with people, reconcile with people, reconcile with God. If you've done something wrong in your own life, bring that to God. Say, I'm really sorry for that, I know it was wrong, please forgive me, and receive his forgiveness and go to sleep, because he gives it freely. So that's like a big deal for me. If you don't believe in God, obviously that's not gonna be a thing. But yeah, for me, like making things right inside of in me and relationships in my life is huge for good sleep. And I've seen that in a lot of friends and family too, that when there's a lot of stress and a lot of hard things going on inside of them, or they've hurt people or been hurt, sleep can be hard. So I think it's actually a big deal to process those things in a healthy way, make things right before you go to sleep, if you can. If it's impossible to do for one reason or another, that's why I said give it to God, give it over, and ask for his help to deal with it in the morning, or deal with it when that time is, when you're able to. Someone, for example, there have been people I thought I may have hurt their feelings. I'm not going to call them at 1 a.m. and be like, hey, wake up. So, ask God for help for the next day, and know it's in his hands, not in yours. Okay. Number 9. This one is really just for like a general kind of health and exercise and stuff like that. So I'm gonna throw a few things into number 9. Things that just help us sleep. So exercising regularly can really help with good sleep. making sure you get some exercise in during the day. Plus, just trying to go to sleep and wake up around the same times every day. I understand that can really help too with your health and with sleeping well. In fact, I think the iPhone actually has a part in the little section that has an alarm and a timer. They actually have a new feature, I think. I've noticed that it's like a bedtime, and I don't know how it works because I haven't used it, but I think it might help you fall asleep and wake up at the same time each day to kind of get your body in a pattern. And then, eating a healthy diet, of course, can really, really help as well. And things like not having a bunch of sugar or caffeine or oily, heavy foods before you go to sleep that can give you like heartburn and acid reflux and all sorts of things. So trying not to eat a bunch of stuff like that before you go to bed can really help. I've actually learned recently a little bit about how different body types and different people are made differently to function with sleep in different ways, with work in different ways. So I don't know, maybe do some research on what your body thrives in, and like the type of exercise that really helps your body, the type of daily schedule that can help your body. So that can help with the health portion of that too. Okay, number 10. This one's funny, but it really works for me. If you have to wake up to go pee, try to keep your eyes closed as much as possible as you walk into the restroom. I keep my eyes closed if at all possible. Obviously you have to kind of see where you're going, but you know your space so well that you kind of know where you need to go. Don't turn the lights on. Don't turn lights on in your room and in your bathroom. Keep everything off and just keep your eyes closed as much as possible. It keeps your body in kind of like a sedated place where you're still sleepy. And once you get back into bed, it's not like you have to re-fall asleep. You're still kind of like zombie mode, like, oh, where am I? Okay, so you just fall back asleep. That helps. Funny one, but I'm assuming you guys have tried that too, and it does work. Okay, number 11. I'm going to switch items. I'm actually going to tap on this phone now. I'll tap on this part first. So, okay, I love this one. What you're going to want to do is just take a shower or bath right before you go to sleep. So, have your teeth brushed and like be ready for bed. Like everything in your room is ready for bed already. Like your computer's off, everything's done for the next day. All you need to do after you take your shower is actually go to bed. It's funny, but we do that with our kids. We bathe them, we give them a bath, and then read them a book and lullaby them to sleep. By that point, they're warm, they're washed, they're clean, they've read a book, and they just, boom, they're out. So try taking a nice warm bath, a shower, before you go to sleep. And I don't think most people probably like me in this sense, but I even sleep with wet hair because, like I said, I like to be as cold as possible when I sleep. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that because I feel like people might get colds, but I for some reason don't. I get hassled for it a lot. Like you're gonna catch a cold, but I don't. I just like to be really cold when I sleep. I put a blanket over my head, even if my hair is like not. I don't like blow dry it, meaning I don't go to sleep with like sopping wet hair, but I just don't blow dry it or something like that. So yeah, take a little shower, bath. I know that. Supposedly like lavender in certain scents are really nice for relaxing, helping you go to sleep. So you can always do some essential oils or something like that in your bath or shower. Okay, number 12 is this. It's best not to do things in your bed besides sleeping, basically. Some people will sit in their bed with a laptop throughout the day and watch shows or maybe eat on the bed or talk on the phone on the bed, all sorts of things. So if you're someone that doesn't sleep well generally or wakes up and can't fall back asleep, one thing that can help is to make your bed, like in your mind, only a place for sleep. Okay, and that kind of moves me to number 13, is that I always watch ASMR videos when I go to bed, so I would exclude that from doing something in your bed. If it's watching an ASMR video to fall asleep, that's different, but I don't have a real problem like falling asleep and that sort of thing, so I don't have a problem like during the day if I want to lay down on my bed and watch a show on my phone or something, I'll do that. But if you really struggle with sleep, you may want to try even not doing that. But one thing I have experienced is that if I watch a show before I go to sleep instead of an ASMR video, that just doesn't work for me, especially if it's got any like excitement to it or humor. I'm stimulated at that point and it's harder to go to sleep, and that storyline is like running through my head, or what I've just watched is running through my head. So I'd say for number 13, not to watch anything besides ASMR in your bed before you fall asleep. Hope that made sense. Number 14 is, it's just another one that, again, this might not be true for everyone, but it does tend to be for me a bit, is to have a clean space in where you sleep. Maybe even your whole house for some of you, I don't know, if that gives you peace of mind and rest to know that things are kind of clean or in order, organized, not like there's no dust anywhere, but just like if you have stuff strewn about your room, it can kind of bring clutter into your mind a bit too, like, and kind of make you feel a bit anxious, just like having stuff everywhere. So maybe, you know, clean your space up and keep that space you sleep in clean, tidy, organized. Maybe that will kind of transfer to your brain and give you a little bit more peace of mind there. And lastly, number 15. This sort of goes along with something I said earlier. I had said to write things down on like in a list form prior to going to sleep if you have stuff roaming through your head in circle mode. But another thing is that if you have things that need to be done in the morning, maybe you have an early morning, earlier than usual, or maybe just you generally have to wake up early and there's lots to do in the morning, I am someone who will prepare everything in my head of like the order that I'm going to do things when I wake up, so that I am not thinking about that through the night. If I have a day where I have a lot to prepare when I wake up, like you have to make this food and you have to put this in the car and you have to put this in the car and you have to get this ready for so and so, and if I have all those things not prepared yet, I will order them in my mind in the middle of the night. So not only making lists before sleep, but maybe preparing something. So for me, that might mean I prepare food for the next day if we're going to be doing something where we need to have a lunch prepared for us. I might prepare that the night before and have it in the bag that it's going to be in, with the waters that it's going to be with, and the snacks, and it's in a little bag, so just grab that in the morning to leave. I might even decide what I'm going to wear. I don't typically put out what I'm going to wear, but I might decide what it is so that I don't wake up in the middle of the night to plan what I'm going to wear. I'd be like, oh, I need to figure that out. So yeah, not just making lists, but maybe even taking actual steps to get things ready for the next day if you think they might keep you up. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that some of those tips are somewhat helpful for some of you out there. And yeah, if you have other tips that could help people, feel free to write them down below for everyone to read, because those are just some that I've come across. There's probably plenty more actually, but I was thinking about it the other night when I was in my bed. I was like, I should make a video sharing what I do to fall asleep. It's so funny, the irony of that statement. I just said don't make lists, don't come up with ideas, but I came up with this idea in my bed in the middle of the night. So there's that. To end on a very ironic note, I do hope you guys sleep well, and thank you so much for all of your support and for watching the videos. I hope you guys are well. Good night.